It's about the news that you don't see. What is going on, guys? It's Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and we have breaking news as we speak happening just now. Of course, we have the Brianna case that is just blowing up right now, and then we're going to go over all of the other stuff, including Tesla and a huge bus-size asteroid that we just found out about. We'll be right back right after this. What is going on, guys? It's Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. If you have not heard yet, there is a lot of stuff going on just in the last hour. We're going to go over that here in a second. But first, let's just introduce ourselves. Again, my name is Adam. We are a live call-in show. Our number is 2244-00-MARF. I'm just going to go over one quick thing. Nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, I do want to remind you guys, you can actually get push notifications through us. If you go to marfooglenews.com, you will actually see that we have our own system there. And on top of that, we actually have our website has a bibliography of every single article, every single tweet that we are going to show you here today. Now, there is some breaking news on there, so we will be adding that post-show. So we'll be adding that in. You don't have to go over and snap over to Fox or CNN or anything like that. We're going to show you what is going on right here live on the show. In between, we're going to have you guys kind of participate as far as the chat, anywhere from 2 to 15,000 people watching live. We'll ask you guys what you think about some of these things. So again, you can follow along on a second device. Remember, our website is organized by thumbnail, so you would actually go to this thumbnail, and when you click that, you will actually get this page with every single article, the source that it came from, and also the caller's info. Without further ado, let's introduce my co-host, Dex, my best friend, and he'll be screening the calls. Dex, how are you doing? And stuff is getting crazy out there.
Hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. And yeah, it's turning wild tonight, and not in a good way.
So I'm going to have you explain something real quick. I do have to check one chord. We've got about 5 lines here that are all going during a live show, and it is live, so anything can happen. Dex, can you explain kind of what has happened in the last couple hours, as being as careful as possible, of course?
Absolutely, Adam. So we've got, there's news today that was breaking just in general around what was going on in Louisville with Brianna. And we'll cover that later in the show. We'll talk more about what happened, what some of the details were, and obviously what is happening in the streets. Obviously, people are not happy with it, but one of the recent developments that happened just in the last hour or so is that an individual protester, I guess, was using a bang and has injured, potentially, I don't know what the full status of multiple police officers, maybe 1, maybe 2, is what's currently being reported now.
Now, of course, we'll be covering that during the show. We'll be looking in on everything that happens during this. First off, let's just say hi, guys. It has been just an absolutely crazy week. Everybody is on edge right now. I have had some stuff go down on Twitter, of course. I got froze out of my account. They said I was a robot. And I'll just let you know, it was because I simply asked a kind of what-if question, and then I asked another question. I guess your opinion on this would be, what do you think about one of the largest companies in the world, probably, up in the billions in profit, say a company like Sprite, supports openly, does commercials supporting a 3-letter group that is questionably either causing trouble or, heroes in some eyes. Either way, if you see them as heroes or you see them as troublemakers, it's pretty split down the middle. So can you imagine this huge company saying, okay, 50% of the entire United States is probably not going to buy our stuff after they see this commercial? How would they make that decision? You know, there's a lot of big companies, they won't go anywhere near something like that because they don't want to lose sales. And I have never seen something as crazy as what is going on right now. You're talking about almost every major network, every major thing supporting something that is being put out by the White House and other things as, you know, an organization that is not good. I'm trying to be as careful as I can right now because I just slightly, I asked, I said, how does a company that big say, oh, we're just going to lose millions of dollars because half of the country's not going to buy our stuff after they see this commercial? How would they do that? That's crazy to me. I mean, that means something big is on the horizon. If they're willing to lose millions and millions of dollars in sales to make a point, along with everybody else that's split halfway down the middle, that's like, I mean, that's some dedication to the cause, right? I've never seen big companies like this. You know, they are all greedy as all sin. So for them to do that means either somebody is in their back pocket, somebody is paying the difference, or they are just, you know, all for that cause so much so that they're going to lose half their sales. I would look at the Sprite's last commercial and say, you know, whoa. Honestly, I would think about making your own decision on whether you want to support that or not. Either way, we'll get back into the news. There was a lot of stuff I had to plug in. We actually had several things that were coming undone. We had something hit near us. I don't know what the heck it was, but we had the ground shake in a couple neighborhoods. So I'm still trying to find out about that. Lots of crazy things going on around the country. Obviously, we have the Brianna thing that's going on right now. Of course, that's been, you know, it's been a month of people talking about what's going to happen when they read that result. But first, it says, photo, Taiwan has cruise missiles capable of reaching China stationed at base in Straits. It says on September 22nd, Taiwanese President Tai Tsai-ing paid a visit to Mekong Air Force Base, a Republic of China Air Force installation at the Penghu Archipelago. It says it sits right on the Taiwan Strait. At the highly publicized meeting, she greeted several FCK, and that's really, it straight up looks like that. It almost looks like EFT. FCK-1CD, Indigenous Defense Fighter pilots, and thanked them for their, quote, heroic performance in deterring dozens of Chinese aircraft that crossed the Straits median line over the weekend. So all of these craft went out there, and these guys met them head on and said, you know, we're here, we're ready. What I see, though, is that this is happening more and more and more, and they're not even reporting most of these incidents. And we're actually getting from our military groups, our active and retired military. We have over 500 that are just in our groups. We're not even talking about the people that don't really participate. We're talking about the people that actually participated in our Discord group. They are all saying that there's way more going on between Taiwan and China right now than they're even reporting. In fact, a lot of the other countries around the world, their news is reporting it. So I am actually looking into getting some of those reports and even possibly putting them on the website. What we are talking about is a media blackout on a lot of different events between India and China and between Taiwan and China. And if they go into serious battle, so do we. So it is a big deal. It says, however, clips from the meeting aired from Taipei's Formosa TV also showed a display of weapons nearby in the hangar that included several Wan Chien, or 10,000 swords, cruise missiles carried by the Air Force FC-1CD, or EFT fighters. The indigenously made cruise missile has a range of 150 miles, according to a U.S.-based think tank, which puts the Chinese mainland, including the metropolis of Xiamen, within striking distance. So this is kind of what these things look like right here. And then, of course, it was in proper display to show, you know, these things can hit you. It says Taiwan's indigenously made Wanqian cruise missiles and U.S.-made AGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles on display in front of an EFT indigenous defense fighter at Mekong Air Force Base. It says next to the cruise missiles in the display are those Harpoon anti-ship missiles, which Taiwanese jets have made a point of carrying on patrols in recent months. So they have basically put it out there that we're ready to use them, and we've loaded them up if you try anything. So obviously they think that something is about to go down. Dex, I don't know if you have anything to say about this, but obviously it looks like they're waiting for kind of China to make their move. China has said prepare for war to their soldiers. Experts say that they are actually designing their military around an actual invasion type situation or taking on American troops. They're designing it around our tech. They're directly drilling to fight us. As far as all of their exercises and drills are against a simulated enemy, and it's basically us. So obviously we are their number one threat. And of course, you've got some of the experts here saying that they are ours. A lot of people say that it's a distraction, that it's not really, that this is just all a big show to distract us from the overlords taking over. I highly don't doubt that. In fact, that's probably what's going on as well. But you have to understand that, like I have said before, I don't think that they care about sacrificing a third of the world's population or 2/3 of the world's population, as long as they are sitting in their bunkers and sitting pretty with their money. That's just my opinion. Again, what do you guys think? I would love to hear it in the chat. I'll be checking that here in just a second. Dex, do you have anything to say about the Taiwan situation? Whoops. I did have you on there. It looks like Dex is going to be on the phone here. So Dex, you can chime in whenever you'd like. You are cut in as well. Now it says cult leader who claims to be reincarnation of Jesus, and I don't even want to say the J word in this context, arrested in Russia. It says Russian authorities mounted a special operation to arrest a former traffic police officer who claims to be the reincarnation of Jesus. And it says, and has run a cult based in the depths of Siberia for the past 3 decades. Now, I thought I actually, when I first saw this, I thought that I knew who this guy was, but this is a totally different one. This is a Russian version of the gentleman who was in Mexico. I mean, same kind of thing, same kind of structure to his cult. It's pretty crazy. It says helicopters and armed officers stormed communities run by Sergei Torup, known as followers as Vissarion, and arrested him and 2 of his aides. Russia's investigative committee said that it would charge him with organizing an illegal religious organization, alleging that the cult extorted money from followers and subjected them to emotional abuse. So this is what this guy looks like. Apparently that's Jesus right there, or Jesus, and he was extorting people. I don't know the full details about this, but this is pretty crazy news. It says Torup, 59, with long gray hair and a beard, was led by masked troops to a helicopter. The operation involved agents from Russia's FSB security service, as well as police and other agencies. Vadim Redkin, a former drummer in the Soviet-era boy band, is known as Vissarion's right-hand man, was also arrested, along with another aide, Vladimir Voldernikov. So one thing I think about this is if the Russian government is involved, this guy might have been planning something else. He might have even had ties with, some sort of, T group or T cell. What was he planning with his followers? Were they planning some sort of attack? I wonder if more is going to come out about this, because why would they put so much effort into this over kind of an extortion ring? You'd think that they would send in maybe a SWAT team or something like that, but they went all out like military op on this guy. So maybe they were armed. I don't get why they took that route. But again, this is something that I'm going to be following, because this sounds really, really weird. And of course, it involves Russian FSB. So that's definitely something that was higher up on their list. And then, of course, we have an asteroid to have an extremely close encounter with Earth this week. And of course, I've told you about all the other times where we've had the size of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, or the size of a mega shark megalodon, or an asteroid the size of Big Ben, or the London Bridge. They always have a size on it. And these kind of articles have come out more in the last 3 years than ever in our entire lives. Do you guys even remember these kind of articles coming out 5-10 years ago? This has been a sudden fascination with humans or with the mainstream media. It's almost like they are kind of desensitizing us to asteroids. Another kind of asteroid-related thing, somebody finally sent me a link. And again, I have not seen the entirety of Greenland yet. And everybody that has said that it is like straight predictive programming. It's something that, basically is telling people what is going on. What's even crazier is in the movie, they say it is an interstellar object, which the first interstellar object we even had was a Muamua. And the fact that in the movie they wrote it in as a interstellar object named Clark, it's just kind of crazy. And they say that the trail of it is so long that they can't even see the trail. It's just this nonstop train of interstellar objects coming in, and they're all planet killers. And these guys are all the plot of the movie is by the end they need to get to Greenland, to these military bunkers where all the military's going. It is an absolutely insane movie from what I hear. I've only watched the first 10 minutes and then I had to, of course, go live. But I was blown away. I was pretty awesome that somebody sent me that. So thank you. And in fact, I think it was Snafu that sent me the link. So thank you. Somebody else sent me a DVD of it. Again, they are from Belgium, I believe. And I know Renegade PD sent me a copy, so I'm waiting to see that as well. If you want to get it yourself, you're going to have to figure that out, how to do it legally. Again, a lot of people are asking me for this and that. Again, I can't pass it along. One thing, though, is they delayed it indefinitely. That was what was weird. There was a huge conspiracy about Greenland because it was supposed to come out in July, and then it said, oh, we're pushing it back to August. And then in August, they said they were pushing it back. And again, they took all of the trailers down. They didn't leave the trailer up even. They said, we're taking the trailer down. Some experts said that it was so realistic that they said it was a bad thing to put it out then because of all the panic with the virus and everything else. They didn't want people to get scared, especially at that point in July. We had Atlas, and then we had the other comet that we could all see. So at that point, they were saying that this is going to scare the hell out of people. People are going to panic thinking that it's some sort of, real story. And I just didn't believe that. I'm like, why would they actually say that about a Hollywood film with Gerard Butler unless there was something in it? They had extremely realistic scenes in it to the point where the experts said that they hired these, scientists and everybody. So it's extremely accurate as far as the fake situation that they put in the movie. Some people think that it's not exactly fake, that it's signaling and they put it out there so, people would know what was going on. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. What also do you think about Greenland not only being delayed 3 times, but now they are saying it's being delayed indefinitely? That is what they're saying on Twitter. They're saying it's indefinitely delayed. So doesn't necessarily mean that it will be completely canceled. But again, it did release in Belgium, and then they pulled it, and it just hasn't gone any further. It cost $34 million to make, and then they just dump it off and say, no, forget about it. What do you think? Why do you think that is? Why don't they just put it out on demand and at least try to make as much money as they can? They could sell it for $20, even $40 to buy the movie. They could rent it for $20 like they have been with on-demand movies. In fact, I just watched a movie with the Rock in it, and it was $20 to rent. Of course, it's because it's supposed to be in theaters. So instead of going to the theaters, you can get it in your house. Why aren't they doing that? It doesn't make any sense to me. So, I'd love to hear your theory on it. It says an asteroid will have, quote, an extremely close encounter with Earth on Thursday when it flies by the planet at a distance of fewer than 20,000 miles, according to the Virtual Telescope Project. Asteroid 2020 SW will safely fly past the planet at a distance of approximately 17,500 miles, according to earthsky.org. It says that it was first discovered, look at this, on September 18, 2020. It was discovered 5 days ago, and it's about to whiz by, and it's the size of a bus, which again is big enough to do incredibly damaging, extreme catastrophic damage. And we just discovered it. Another thing that I've noticed is that all of them are being discovered now. It's not like these are all asteroids that they've known about since 2016 or some kid discovered in 1999 and it's been swirling around. These are all new ones. How are there so many that we are discovering just now when we've had observatories for this long and apparently some of the best tech in the world? Why are most of our military in Mount Cheyenne and at NORAD? Why are they doing drills in New York, simulations of New York being hit with an asteroid? Why are they developing HAMMER, hypervelocity asteroid and mitigation response team, which is basically a nuke on a rocket? Why are they trying to get off planet? Why are they trying to get to the moon and then Mars? Why do they have this whole 2024-25 date in there? Why is Asgardia being formed? Why are all of these things happening at once? Some of my friends, it's hard for me to talk to them because they're like, well, you thought it's going to be WW3 or world conflict. And I said it very well could be. And that might be because of what's going on. A lot of people that we have talked to, and especially military, and we had a source that was watching the actual funds. This person is in a extremely high up place, basically looks at the paperwork and is an auditor for FEMA and agencies, all that stuff that goes through this person's desk. Basically, they saw an extreme amount of money being put through for debris cleanup or for space debris. And it's such an amount of money that it is something absolutely crazy. Not only that, it was attached to something called the Class 2 gas giant. So whatever that may be. And this person, me and Dex ended up talking to for, I want to say 2.5, 3 hours. And we went through and verified all of their information, went and verified who they were. Dex, as far as that goes, do you think that, one, do you believe that person? And two, did we not do everything we possibly could to verify their identity?
Hey, Adam. Sorry, I was not listening. I was on the phone. Can you rephrase the question again for me?
Okay, that's even better. FEMA auditor, Asteroid. Do you believe that person, and do you believe what they said as far as? Now, what did you?
Absolutely.
What did
we
you
went
pick
into
up
great detail when we were doing our background with this person. Not only in understanding their complete background, their full CV or resume. Right, we went through a lot of detail there, and the access and information that person had available to them was pretty impressive, and the story was pretty clear.
Now, what did they say that they were putting money into?
Debris cleanup, and not just in a single location, but across all across the nation. You think, no, not a big deal if it was just, maybe in an earthquake zone or in, the panhandle of the Gulf because, you got hurricanes or, down in Florida or something like that. But no, this was everywhere across the nation.
So what is possibly going to happen from space that affects the entire nation? That is the big question. Now, other people have other information has trickled out to some of my colleagues. The one person that I know, the only person I know that is a bigger voice on YouTube is Stephen Banoon, has talked about it. And what they heard is by September you would know that something is off. by this month, we saw all of these asteroids. We had videos coming in of meteors just coming in. Let me remind you, that video of 7 or 8 pieces of things coming in and no explanation. People said, oh, maybe it's a satellite. That one wasn't even officially explained. These are all real videos. People, I mean, there was a whole week and it wasn't, they're going to say, oh, well, that one is this and this one is that. No. These things are coming into our atmosphere and there's something going on. What if they know that? What if they know all about this? And maybe during this, they know that there's going to be destruction and they are preparing for it because it will put certain countries at a disadvantage. And somebody, maybe a big bully, might just take advantage of the natural damage that is done and take that land. This could turn from a natural catastrophe into a land grab. Now, again, I'll let you guys do your own research on this, but as far as everything that is happening here, I have stuck... somebody could say, oh, you have unsubstantiated info here. I'll say this. No one has to believe us. We have stuck to our guns on this one, and as far as the information that we have shown you, you should be at least have enough common sense to see that something is happening in space. Space Force getting put into play, Asgardia being formed by all the elites, all of the elites leaving their posts, over 3,000. Now it's, I want to say there was another article that came out up to 5,000 of the most powerful elites in the world in the highest positions leaving their posts before CV and during CV the entire time. Leaving at its worst part, their legacy shot. Leaving before it, leaving during good times, all of them bouncing out. And where are they going? Look at all the property that's being sold in the United States. Look at all the property that's being bought in New Zealand. Now New Zealand, they have so many rich elites buying property and secret bunker properties that they will not let outsiders buy houses anymore. And again, then you would think, oh, well, then you can't. No, if you have the right amount of money, if you are in a certain zone or if you're in the certain things, or if you're in certain kinds of property, yes, you can. You can buy commercial grade zone things like this. What I was looking into is basically you have to be super rich to buy in New Zealand now, because the New Zealand president said, oh, all these people are coming here. Why do you think all those people were going to New Zealand? New Zealand has naturally a good place for the end of the world. That's what they say. New Zealand and Australia are the two places, if something like this happened, they say that would do slightly better than everywhere else. They have a reason why they're going there. And same with this whole thing, the Greenland, the movie, right? The bunkers in Greenland. These are all based on, facts by scientists that say, oh, well, if this happens, the probability of being in New Zealand or Australia or Greenland, those are the best places to be in some of these things. Obviously, something could happen and wipe out New Zealand first, but again, why are all these people doing it? I told you 3 years ago when the gentleman that worked the underground tunnels, he was ex-military, all of the underground tunnel drivers, and this is something that I'll just clarify. This is something that is personal information that came to me, and we actually almost did a show on it. I vetted that person 2.5 years ago, something like that, 2.5, 3 years ago. He drove through the tunnels, and he said that all of the guys who drive these tunnels are ex-military, they're vetted, they have to go through extreme background checks, and they're paid extremely well. I mean, we're talking about upwards of $500,000 a year, which sounds crazy and a lot, but I guess some cops actually make that now, as we're finding out. But $500,000 a year to drive a truck, that's a pretty good gig. But they can't be above ground. They can't talk to people. They can't tell people what they do. They've got to be gone for months at a time. They drive from one place for as much as, he said, that 80 hours straight without seeing sunlight. And they have an entire ecosystem, is what this person said. They have Starbucks manned by actual uniformed officers. They have little grocery stores for them and little mini marts and things like this underground. They have food stores, and almost all of the food is done by credit. So they don't actually exchange any money down there. It's all with a badge and or a pass. And then he said that now they actually have a thumb scanner. And when you do that, it pays your bill. You have a certain allowance for food and things like this. They even said that they had brand name McDonald's run by uniformed soldiers. That sounds crazy. But again, if you're dealing with a place that is permanently underground and no one can come in except for the people that are in the know, this is a whole system. Think about it. Russia has this kind of system and everybody knows they have it. We are just much more private about it. It is an entire network of tunnels and military bases underground. They're called DUMBs, deep underground military bases. And yes, I'm crazy and I believe they're not only real, but they are logistically smart. Think about it. If you need to move things that are just too vital to move down I-5 with people's cell phone cameras catching every piece of it, you would move it through a tunnel. And with companies like, what was it? Oh, Elon Musk, the Boring Company. Think about what he's doing in public right now. Think about what he was doing 15 years ago. It's been 15 years since his company started, the Boring Company. Think about what he was doing with that same company for the military. So everything that's going on right now, my thoughts on this, again, somebody can quote me later. They can even say, oh, you said this and this is wrong, and I will correct it the next day. As far as this, factually, this is a asteroid coming close. But I did want to go off that south for any new people that don't know what my thoughts are on asteroids. I believe that they have already found something that is coming towards Earth, and they know about it, and they have a timeline to either fix it, to delay it, to knock it off course, to break it up and bring it in, to mine it, to put a rocket on it and send it somewhere else, or there's just no solution, and the only solution is that we terraform Mars or something else. And then some people say, oh, space doesn't exist. Just saw a comment today that said, for the 100th time, space doesn't exist. Well, if you want to talk about unsubstantiated, neither one of us has been to space. So as much as you can say space doesn't exist, as much as I can say it does exist. Neither one of us can prove it because neither one of us have been to space. So that's my thoughts on that. If you have a differing opinion, I know that some of my mods do not believe in a globe Earth. That's fine. We all get along. We're best friends. But we can have discussions and think differently. As far as, do I think they're covering something up that is going to happen? It's going to be massive? Yes, absolutely. Am I crazy? You can be the judge. You can say whatever mean things you want to say about me. But again, we have over 500 active and retired military folks, and they don't think I'm crazy, or at least 99% of them don't. So either way, I'm going to go over to the chat. If you guys do want to support us in any way, I would highly suggest doing it in this way. I would highly recommend going in and getting an EMP shield. There's a lot of tech that is going on right now. The Space Force and everything else that is happening, they actually have put out official warnings. In fact, DHS told us all to have 6 months to a year worth of food due to the threat of an EMP or an electromagnetic pulse. If they hit us with one, whoever they may be, whether it be NK or China or the US, it would knock out our entire grid and we would be screwed. Imagine how bad it is when we run out of toilet paper. Imagine if we literally don't have power for 6 months to a year. And if they do knock us down, if you have your generator protected and your house and your car, then you're basically set. People think, oh, I've got a solar system. Well, if you don't protect your solar system, then what good is it? You can get many different kinds of devices to protect different things. It helps the show. It helps us grow. And it is one of the most legit companies you can ever purchase from. These guys are the same ones that are currently working. They've worked with DHS, DOD, and now officially on the DEMSO team, helping protect the Texas grid. Most of what they do, they can't even talk about. now that they have done this government contract, they are reducing the amount of consumer stuff and increasing the amount of governmental stuff. So get them while you can. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. There was one point last year where we didn't know if they were going to continue selling to consumers, to regular people. All right, again, that's EMP Shield, and you can go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. All right, let's take our first caller. It looks like Dex has been busy. The phones have been off the hook. The number is going to be scrolling on the black line right here, 224400 Marf. All right. It looks like we have Arizona Squatch, and they actually have a video, and it says not a moon video. So let's see what this means. Dex, if you want to bring in Arizona Squatch and then Arizona Squatch, you are live.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So what video are we going to be looking at today? It looks like you brought us a video here.
Okay. Yeah. What it is, back on July 15th, I went out just as the sun had set because I was looking for Neowise. And, a little bit of clouds in the sky, and I looked up and I was like, oh, wow, the moon. And then I went, wait a minute. The moon is never there. This is in the northwest sky. It was at like 340 degrees as far as the compass goes, and probably about 45 degrees inclination. But what I was looking at, I sat there and stared at this thing, and I went, that's a planetary body. And then I thought, wait a minute, get out the phone. So I shot about a minute video of it. And I mean, I was so flabbergasted by what I was looking at, because and you'll see it in the video, and in the video I'll actually pan to the left to show that the sun had just set, to show that this isn't a sun flare on a camera lens or anything like that. I can't say it was a planetary body because I'm not in that field, but what I was looking at was like the same thing as looking at the moon. It was just a little bit smaller. So you play the video, you'll see it.
Now, I've been playing the video the whole time. Yeah. How do we know? How did you know this was not the moon? Was it the placement, or was the moon in the same sky?
Well, okay. On July 15th of this year, the moon was not out. This was like about 7:15 p.m. Using a program I have on my phone to see the constellations and that, I went to look for where the moon was actually at, and the moon was actually at my feet, meaning the other side of the planet. So the moon was not even visible to us at that time. And
I wish
this is in the northwest sky, and anybody who lives in the United States knows the moon is not in the northwest sky. It never in the northwest sky.
I just wish you almost should have held up that phone, because you know how they have the compass, and almost showed where that was. Because everybody knows you can sit there and go like this, and it shows you real time where everything is. Because as far as this, if that's not the moon, again, just giving you reasonable doubt here, that would be insane. There's a lot of folks who believe they're covering up stuff.
If you watch through the video, I'll pan to the left, facing the west. The sun had just set, and so as the video plays through, I pan to the left to show that that the sun had just set, wasn't up.
Well, hopefully it's not the Death Star. Again,
I have no idea what it was. My wife, she was just as flabbergasted as I was. And I sat there and watched it. and until it got dark enough, they just couldn't see anything. So there wasn't any reflection of the sun on it after the sun went down. So I have no idea what I'm looking at. But standing there in the person, it was identical to looking at the moon. It was just a little smaller.
Let me
you could tell it was something huge a long way away.
Okay, let me play the audio here for a second.
All right.
July 15th of. All right, today is July 25th. Or sorry, July 15th of 2020. The exact time is 17:48 hours. I'm in Apache Junction, Arizona, and I was looking at the clouds in the sky, and that, my friends, I don't know. Sunset is off that way. Where did that go? There it is.
Wow.
What the hell? Here we go.
Nobody would sit there and look at the moon and go, what the hell is that? That's what freaks me out, because when you are watching this and when you hear what he's saying, it's not like he would just sit there and look at the moon. Everybody's seen the moon. That's not the moon. Then what the hell is it? That's really crazy.
I have absolutely no idea what it is. I've been listening to Israeli News Live for many years, and a couple other people that have talked about the whole Planet X thing. And, there was quite a bit of it that I was skeptical about until I had found some information by amateur astronomer by the name of Gil Brazard, who has been doing some pretty extensive research on, and he calls it Planet 7X. Is this Planet X? I am by no means claiming that. I don't know what it is. I've never seen it in the sky before. I'm always looking up at the sky.
What if it's a class 2 gas giant? I wonder.
It is, that project, everybody knows the color of the beam. Is that something they've been hiding? Is something that, is, one of the things I've thought about? I don't know. I don't have the answers to it, but I know, what you're looking at in that video, when I was looking at it in real time, it looked like a planetary body. And
well,
I was not prepared for that.
Arizona Squatch, thank you so much. Great video. Again, if you guys want to see Arizona's video, you can go to our website, marfooglenews.com, and you can investigate it for yourself. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Arizona. We appreciate it.
Hey, you bet. Anytime.
All right. Have a good night. That was Arizona Squatch, and again, the link will be on our website. Make sure to wait until after the show to go to it, just so it helps the show out if you do that. Then we have Leah on deck. We'll get over to her in just a second. First, we're going to get back into the news because there's some crazy stuff. If that wasn't the moon, one part of me says, what if that is the Class 2 gas giant? That freaks me out. Tesla hit with complete network outage, leaving drivers unable to connect to cars using mobile app. Now, one thing I think about when I see this is the future of cars and how they say, in fact, I think it was California said that they're not going to have, I don't know if we have this story here. We don't. In fact, I don't think I put it in here. Dex, I don't know if you saw the story too. they are basically saying by 2035, some states are promising that there will be no gas vehicles allowed. Now, that sounds so far off into the future, right? That's 12 years. Look, think about how the last 12 years has flown by.
Yeah, and wasn't it Gavin that came out and said he was either passing or passed a bill for that?
Yeah, Gavin Newsom. So we're talking about in 12 small years, we will have no gas-powered vehicles in at least California, right?
Yeah, it is California. He did pass an executive order that will ban gas and diesel cars by 2035. Wow.
So somebody on Twitter, that's where I got it, because I remember a woman said, U-Haul trucks in California are about to come really hard to find now, basically implying that everyone is going to move the hell out of California. There's a lot of things going on right now that are just completely shocking, and it makes you think, one, do they know something that we don't? And two, is this plan that they kick in, or is this plan that they are kicking in, is it kicking in 10 times faster? Every year it's going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. I mean, if you think that what is going on right now is crazy, think about if there comes a point in the next year or two where we are actually huddled into mega cities. It's kind of a crazy thought.
Will we see another cash for clunkers deal? I mean, you remember that one where they took off so many inexpensive cars out of the market that were actually decent cars. They just weren't very efficient with that program, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see another one of those.
Well, or they'll buy them off of you. They'll say you can buy it or get a credit towards an electric car or something like that. I don't know. They don't want us. Eventually, they have a long-term plan that says that we would not be driving, that everything would be on tracks, everything would be computer guided, everything. I mean, the cool part, right, that they say is that we'll be able to drive 200 miles an hour to work and get there in 5 minutes because everyone will be going 200 miles. It will be a track system where everybody just hops into traffic and you're not actually driving, so there's no human error. So it's almost like a like a kid's a track, like one of those stupid little car tracks with the metal pin on the bottom where it just tracks in and goes when you hit the gas button. So when you think about this is not far away. This is extremely close. And when you think of what has happened in the last 5 years, even how culture has changed. You can't even talk the same way you talked 5 years ago. Look at movies right now. Movies that were just came out in 2015 would not fly now. They're politically incorrect, almost all of them. And if you go 20 years ago, oh my gosh, those are just straight up, those are, 3Ks. It's nuts what is going on right now. We are changing so fast. My kids are going to have to adjust every 10 minutes. They're going to grow up in a world where they'll say one thing one day and that by the next it's not okay to say. Absolutely crazy.
Well, and the reverse is happening too, right? You've got, just like you're describing movies that wouldn't fly today because of even Friends episodes. They're kind of, racy, if you want to call them that, right? In today's times. But then there are things that we see on TV today that we would say, man, that never would have flown when I was a kid, right? Like the indoctrination of all this, very graphic type stuff, right? Like that stuff didn't fly back 10 years, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, right?
No, it didn't. And as far as some of the words, now they can say the SHIT just on, what was it? Adult Swim. Again, just to hit this, Tesla was totally disconnected. And this is where I was getting with that point. Tesla was the future of cars, right? If this is truly the future, that means your car will be controlled by app. You won't have to have a key, and they are actually trying to move away from that. That's why Tesla it's so cool, right? As long as you have your phone in your pocket, you can get in your car and go. You don't need to put anything in. You don't need to put a fob in. You don't have to slide anything in. If you've never been in a Tesla, if somebody gets in, it Bluetooth connects. Once it detects your phone, you can just drive away. And then when you walk away, it locks it up. It senses you, right? And this is actually kind of, old tech, right? They're going to get crazier. It's going to be an optional tattoo that you get, and it will permanently be able to control your car. And if you want a friend to do it, you can send them a text, and they can just control your car because they'll take an NFC tag and tap the car and be able to drive it, right? This is real stuff that's happening right now as we speak. They're changing things, and Tesla is one of the leaders. Well, think about this. Tesla's hacked. All of a sudden, the app doesn't work. And if they didn't have a physical key, none of these people would have been able to drive their car. None of them could actually get into their app. This is a big deal because Tesla and Elon Musk is such a huge figure, and their company is so rock solid, right? As far as a lot of these loyalists and kind of Tesla elitists, they had a huge problem. This is a big deal. I am sure people will defend them to death, right? It says it has not been the best week for Tesla. The company lost $50 billion in its market value yesterday, and today it is suffering a complete network outage. It says reports say Tesla's internal systems are down and some customer connectivity features are not accessible. The outage appeared around 11 a.m., with some Tesla owners saying that they cannot connect their car through the mobile app. Sources told Electric that Tesla's internal systems are down, making it impossible to process deliveries and orders. So not only was this a down detector type thing where their systems were down, you're talking about they couldn't process deliveries and order on their end. So on the customer's end, this was a hack. I'll say that, but I'll say this is my opinion. I think that somebody just took down one of the biggest and most government-connected companies out there. And I bet you they're meeting in the White House right now saying they just took down Tesla's system for a matter of hours. Was this NK? Was this somebody else? They're not even mentioning this. And let me just say it, mark my words. In the next month or so, let's see if we find out that NK's team was responsible for this, or that's what they'll say, right? They'll say NK has a team of hackers and they actually were the ones behind the Tesla down and outage. Or we see it in the future and say it was actually them. Or they'll go back to it and say that was their reasoning for doing something. So I'm waiting to see if they actually admit that this is after, of course, their stocks stabilize and admit that this was a hack. Because you don't want to say, oh, they broke in and they just completely wiped everything, went in and just slapped us around. That's bad. There's been a couple bad ones more recently that's just crazy. Think about Twitter. Twitter getting hacked, and the president, you're talking about Kanye, you're talking about all these celebrities, the Kardashians, Yil Bates and Melinda, all of their Twitters were hacked, and they ran a Bitcoin scam out of their actual Twitter accounts. And of course, they didn't admit right off the bat. They said, oh, we don't know how it happened, and it was probably somebody from inside the company, and they handed the key out. So it's that person's fault, and it's not that they got in past all of the security. And then they said it was a 17-year-old kid. So if there's a 17-year-old kid that can get into one of the most advanced firewalls in the world, where are we in the future when we all have cars that run by, apps? What if our houses and every single thing is on an app? If you're the enemy, you would be thinking, how can we shut all of this down? It's kind of a scary thought. All right, I'm going to head over to the chat. You guys have been neglected tonight. Cries 2797, thank you so much for the Ninja Guinea. I appreciate your donations tonight. Gone Girl 777, thank you guys for all being out here tonight. Pam, I hope you're doing well. And then Leah Lou 333, thank you so much. Kelizzy, Ikeen, we've got Leon DeGrell, Tony Higginson, shout out. Just was thinking about you today. Veteran Steve, We've got Greatest is Love. And then Tor Dawn, Laura Griffith, Unicorn Forest. What is going down? Johnny Doom. I just did a story with your question in it, by the way. I did it on YouTube. It's a YouTube story replying to your statement. What Johnny Doom actually commented on one of my YouTube stories was that the Chinese military is preparing for conflict with us, but they said that they were actually telling them to prepare for their families, to not see their families. And I said, if that's true, that's flipping crazy. God bless you, Adam, family, Dex, mods, Ephesians 6:10, 18, and Psalms 91, says Veteran Steve. Well, thank you so much for being here every night. We've been through so much rough stuff lately, and to have people like you here every night really means a lot. Proud Grandma, KCH3, Tony Mountain, thank you so much. Again, you guys are rock solid followers. Thank you so much. I cannot see the YouTube side, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm actually going to find that. EMP Shield is actually here tonight. Says, best news on YouTube. Make sure to sign up for our giveaway. We need your vote to win the coolest thing made in Kansas competition. Okay, so EMP Shield, apparently there is a coolest thing made in Kansas competition. And
Adam, we've got that. We've got a link to that on our website, and last night's show, and I'm putting it on tonight's show, and they're running a contest as well, and we'll have that link on there in just a moment.
I'm sorry we didn't know about this earlier. Okay, and I apologize that we didn't get that on there. So EMP Shield, I don't know. I'm assuming this is lasting a few days, but so make sure to check out that link. Obviously, EMP Shield does a lot of type of giveaways and competitions and stuff. This time, they need our help.
Yeah, they're in the running, Adam. They made it to the final. I think it's like the semifinals or the final position in the coolest things invented in Kansas, and it's put on by the state there, and it's really neat. And they're in there. We've got a link to them. You can pull it up.
Okay, well,
to last night's show.
So first off, think about this. EMP Shield, not only do they work with government agencies, they're protecting some of the most important buildings out there. They are a family-owned and veteran-owned business. Not only that, everything is made in the U.S. They're about to bring tons and tons of more jobs to the U.S. This is one of the coolest companies because it has stayed like that. So again, make sure to check them out. They need our help this time, so that's awesome. And then Dustin West Phelan, Total Recall the movie. Just wanted to put that out there, Dustin. Total Recall, the movie, had a lot of crazy stuff in there. And, of course, you're talking about how it's some of it is coming true now. And then we have Pacific Northwest, Jack of all trades. Says, do a show on Sasquatch stories. Pacific Northwest, Jack of all trades. We've talked about that. We talked about that about 2 years ago because we had a really big name in the Sasquatch world call in, and we didn't actually do anything on it. So we have thought about it. We definitely need to get around to that. Dreams and UFO experiences all in a show and get as many people that have had those experiences. What it takes, though, is we need people. If you do want to be on a show like that, please reach out to us. If you've had an actual Sasquatch kind of encounter, give us a shout. And then Merry Christmas 2.0. Today is the day of salvation. Repent and be baptized in Jesus' name. Acts 2:37-38. Keep up the great work, guys and mods, says Merry Christmas 2.0. And then Dustin Westphalen says, watch a show called Revolution. It's about power going out and high tech has to be found to turn the world back on. Great show. I think I've watched that, and the Revolution has like the power sign on it. I'm pretty sure I watched the whole thing back when I had a Netflix account, which I still do not have, and I do miss, but I don't really care. What's surprising to me is now they're writing articles saying that because of the Cuties drama that everybody flocked to that movie. That's BS. People need to not only not flock to that movie, but they actually need to cancel their accounts. And then we've got Asteroid the size of a bus. Tesla offline. Let's see here. Corey creates Open Society Foundation Soros-funded media India, Satire, and Alicia Garza, co-founder of B. So last night, a lot of things were kind of brought out that I did not know. Joe Rogan, who is now over on Spotify, just apologized for a whole bunch of stuff over on Twitter. And now I know why. Spotify's company has all this stuff going on, and I will most likely put that out on a different show. But what is going on is their company is extremely progressive, and I mean so progressive. They've kind of done the, people that don't... Okay, do you remember Pat from Saturday Night Live? They have a multitude of Pats there. And what the multitude of Pats said is that they want direct oversight over Joe Rogan's podcast. So they do not want him able to say anything without them first checking it. One thing that was said last night is Spectrum, the company that is actually also related to NSA, is actually helping remove comments from Rogan's podcast. And then also, guess who one of their biggest funders is? I think it's Open Society Foundation. So how would you silence one of the last kind of humongous big voices? Give them $100 million? It's kind of crazy. I actually was watching that on, I believe it was Subcultured on DLive. And they went down this rabbit hole, and I was like, wow, how did I not see this before? Not too many people are looking at that, but think about it. He was friends with AJ. Now he's just totally thrown AJ under the bus, and he's apologized about all this stuff, done all sorts of stuff. It's pretty crazy stuff. Corey creates Open Society Foundation, the GS, funded Indiosaurus. Thank you for that comment. Kara Fuse says, oh my God, y'all, Hurricane Laura took us out. It's so bad. I mean, horrible here. House town business put us all back years. No pray for in Lake Charles. I'm sorry, Kara Fuse. I know that Laura, it took out a lot of people. Human Tiger 72. The Asteroid article was written by CIA. Really? I didn't see that. That's pretty funny. Their name is CIA. And then Christian Moore, GPP, you are a hero in my eyes. Your fallen friends are heroes also. Please tell their story when possible. Get the truth out about the people in a coma. Bless you, the fam. Prayers to all Jesus loves. GPB, you are a hero. I will have to look at that again. Thank you, Christian Moore. Backwoods Ingenuity, live free, travel light, and work hard. And then Susan Donahue says, keep your vibe high. Just think about a jetpack guy hovering at 3,000 feet at LAX. If I were a betting woman, my money would be on hashtag Team Humanity. And then, of course, Ilea says, oh, Doyle rules. Did you really just went there? Ilea just went there. She just really said, oh, Doyle rules. And then Texacali 74, exercise your Second Amendment rights and believe on Jesus, warriors of God. Well, thank you guys for all your support tonight. Again, let's get back into the news. We do appreciate you guys supporting us. Again, you guys are what makes the show go round. Average American recorded by security cameras 238 times each week, study shows. It says it seems no matter where we go out throughout the day, there's a camera close by. While passing a security camera may not shock many people, a new study finds that the average person is being filmed more often than they think. It says from walking the dog to driving into work, researchers say that Americans are being caught on security cameras at least 238 times per week. It says the report by safety.com finds that surveillance technology is spreading to every corner of the globe. Studies estimate that there will be around 1 billion security cameras filming worldwide by 2021. Between 10 and 18% of those devices will be in the United States. When comparing this level of surveillance to the rest of the world, study authors believe only China will have more cameras watching their population. It says by next year, there will be about one camera for every 4.6 people in the United States. There will likely be one camera for every 4.1 people in China. So what this basically breaks down to, and here's the scary part. Now these videos are not going to some sort of hard drive and recording on a loop or possibly clearing. A lot of these cameras are online cameras. What's even crazier is what Dex found out last time we went down this rabbit hole, which is most of the cameras that people have, which are the generic cameras, are made in China. Not only that, the proprietary software that goes with these online cameras is owned by none other than China. So you're talking about a wireless technology that they could have a backdoor on and have basically a surveillance system set up in our country as well. Dex, is that not right? Am I wrong when I'm quoting you?
No, you're spot on. The big one that is most proliferated across America is the CCT cameras you see in every small business, right? Every time you walk into a 7-Eleven, any of these, they're called NVRs and DVRs, and they have network connectivity on them. And a lot of those are built by Daewoo, which is a company out of China, and they're widely used everywhere.
So we're talking about we are on camera almost as much as China. So when you think that China is some sort of, what do you call it? Police state, we're not far behind, guys. So just a small point to make there. Again, I'm happy to be an American, but is it really all that American anymore? Hopefully that will change and come full circle. If you guys want to help our channel in a different way, right now is possibly the best time to do it. We are building a huge system right now to actually replace what we lost with Discord. NordVPN is a virtual private network. Right now, more people are at home, working from home, and the cyber criminals know that. They're going to go and attack everybody they possibly can. You can actually do something to really protect yourself. You should at least start with a VPN. A virtual private network actually hides your IP. It puts it somewhere else. It hides your IP from the bad guys, and it will stop data logging. Of course, this company is one of the highest rated. You can go to marfooglenews.com/VPN to support us. It's no more expensive for you. It's actually a huge discount, up to 70% off on a 3-year plan, and it helps our channel. So it's a win-win for everybody. We appreciate it. Otherwise, if you're going through somebody else, you're going through a third-party big company, nobody prospers from it. This way, you can actually help yourself and help us at the same time. Okay, again, that's marfooglenews.com/VPN. With that, we're going to get into our next call. Then we are going to be talking about the grand jury indicting the Louisville cop in the death of that I'm not going to say that name, because we will be on the equivalent of the YouTube curb with a cardboard sign. Like, can you see me on the side of the street? I was a YouTuber. Retired YouTuber. Vietnam YouTuber. No. Okay. All right. Let's get our next caller in. We have, looks like, ooh, this is a good one. We've got Leah, and it's a theory on the asteroid story from the TED Talk. So what's going on with this? Leah,
hey,
from Kansas.
Hey, Adam.
How are you doing,
Can
Leah?
you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's going on?
Well, I've been listening to the show, and it's really, really good show. Love y'all. I hope everybody's having a good night. I was watching a TED show a couple of years ago, about Tabby Star. It was discovered by the Kepler telescope. Well, it was Tabitha, I can't pronounce her last name. She had discovered it, and we had discovered unusual light fluctuations in the star, up to 22% dimming in the brightness. One of the theories was that it was surrounded by a Dyson sphere. But another one was that she had talked about a comet storm, a massive comet coming that was between us and the star, actually. So that's one theory. Another was that it was possible nova explosion. But I just found it interesting that all the telescopes, like you had reported on, were being shut down, and I have seen military stuff movement on the highways, but everything you've talked about has got me searching and researching other things, and the asteroid thing brought that up. So that was a very, very good talk that she did on TED Talk.
Now, I just want to confirm it was Tabitha Boyajian, and it's basically saying that something massive with roughly 1,000 times the area of Earth is blocking the light coming from a distant star. That was what this TED Talk was about, correct? Yeah. And Ted is the worst for copyrights, so we cannot, unfortunately, play that video. But, man, I want to watch it.
But, yeah, there's several theories about what is actually causing it to dim.
And by dimming, that means that something is possibly there's something there we don't know what it is, but it possibly could be a huge comet or planet or something.
A comet storm, she said, possibly. A massive comet.
Wow. Okay. It gets even better.
And when one of them, like, if you remember the movie, like, Deep Impact and Armageddon, they showed diagrams of when a comet comes into, like, through the Oort cloud, it pushes other stuff out of the way. So there's, like, always, like, stuff coming ahead of it. So what we're getting, I mean, I watched the spaceweather.com website, and I look at the list of near-Earth objects that are coming, and I saw this one coming for September, that 2020 SW 2020 that's supposed to come by tomorrow. That's very interesting. I don't think that one's big enough to cause any real damage, but could be a prelude to something bigger.
Well, that's what I'm saying. All of these are being discovered. I mean, this was discovered 5 days ago.
New upgraded network isn't just fast, it's...
Sorry about that.
Right, and if you remember in that movie, Impact, there were precursors...
Sorry about that, ma'am. Hold on 1 second. I unmuted it to play the other gentleman's movie. That's why I do it, because...
That was a good one, though.
It sounds good, but again, with what is going on right now, with all of these things, we're discovering them after 5 days. All of a sudden, boom, it's passing Earth. In the last year, we've had several...
We wouldn't have time to do anything.
No, we wouldn't be able to do absolutely anything. And this one's going to go right by us. 17,000 miles. What is that? The distance from Seattle to Chicago, about 10 times?
Orbit.
Yeah, exactly. That's really, really close. Somebody's going to see that.
That's lower than a lot of satellites.
That's pretty incredible.
So, yeah, it is incredible. But I just wanted to bring that up because it's something that just caught my attention a while back.
All right. Well, thank you, Leah. Again, what Leah just said is that as they've explained, and there was real advisors in the film of Deep Impact and others, is the situation was what was coming in at first. In all the asteroid movies, it's usually the first impact, and that's not it. There's a planet killer coming afterwards, right? Or any cartoon or show that's done that. They have made the scenario where a little one hit. Oh, good, we survived the little one. oh, but the big one's coming right behind it, is that when these push through things, there's something that gets pushed with it and goes ahead of it. So then, therefore, that hits first, and then what comes behind it is coming. If this is a comet storm, that would be absolutely nuts. And that's exactly what Greenland describes down to the T. This, these interstellar objects that just keep coming, and the line of them is so long that they can't even see the back end of it. Greenland is really creepy. I've only watched the first 10 minutes and I'm already like, wait a second, that's what it said in this. That's what this is. I mean, it's already lining up. Well, thank you, Leah. I appreciate you. Please call in anytime.
Oh, great. Hey, you guys have a great show going. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Be safe. Be prepared. And people say, oh, this is the fear this, fear that. No, we shouldn't be afraid of anything. We should be looking at this kind of stuff head on. And if there is an issue, we should know about it first. One thing I would say, though, is if you do have a problem with it, I would say do one a week or one show a week or something like that. Don't watch all the time. But again, most people would rather be in the know than not be in the know. If you talk about this kind of stuff, it doesn't have the same effect, and you don't get afraid. You end up kind of looking at it head on. So Kelly2334 and Gone Girl have been going back and forth in a diamond war. Thank you guys. I appreciate your support so much. And Gone Girl especially has been going absolutely nuts. So thank you so much. And then Kelly2334, thank you so much for all of your support tonight. I don't know if Tower Bear is here tonight. Shout out. Uper Viking says, welcome to China. Of course, talking about the cameras being absolutely everywhere. Shy the Coffee, Tall Drink of Water. Thank you guys for the lemons. Thank you all, everybody, down to just doing lemons. It is much appreciated, and it definitely adds up. So thank you guys. Johnny Doom, Vault 111, Dixie Doe is here. We've got all sorts of folks in the chat. So obviously, we'll call her BT. All right. So BT, which, because this is a filter word. If you're new here, we have a lot of filter words on certain platforms. It says a grand jury on Wednesday indicted a Louisville, Kentucky police officer, Sergeant Brett Hankison, for wanton endangerment in the death of BT, a black woman who died from gunfire by cops during a no-knock raid in her home in March. It says other police officers involved in the raid that led to BT's death were not criminally charged by the grand jury. It says Taylor's death, along with of George, a black man in Minneapolis last spring, catalyzed the protest-driven movement to reform police organization nationwide. And we should say across the world, because people are actually protesting about these cases in Europe and in other countries, which, again, that one I don't too much get, because they have their own injustices going on, I'm sure. Why are they so much talking about ours? Maybe it's because everybody watches American media. American media does lead in the entire world. People actually watch our movies. They watch our news. They watch our stuff because we control a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So they want people to see our media and be kind of, what's weird is we don't see Canadian news. We don't see European news here in the United States. But in Europe, all of my friends there, I'm sure Jim would probably say the same thing. You guys get a lot of our news. They talk about us a lot. They talk about what's going on here. For some reason, we're like the black sheep in the world family that everybody's like, oh my gosh, you'd never believe what they did now. But we don't hear so much about that. Do you guys agree? I mean, am I crazy? We don't get too much world news. And when you actually click on the world news tab, it's usually something financial about a company from Greece or this or that, or it's something usually negative, and it has a sway on it or a bias or an opinion or something like that. It seems like we don't get a lot of the real crazy stuff that goes on in other countries, or at least not correctly put. I'll say that much. Gone Girl and Kelly2334. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. That those your diamond conflicts, it helps us. And right now, stick around for the end of the show. I've got a special announcement. So thank you. In anticipation of the grand jury's findings, the Louisville mayor imposed a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., thinking, there's stuff that's going to be going down. It says Taylor was at home with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, on the evening of March 13 when Louisville cops raided the residence and fired multiple shots. It says police were executing a search warrant for drugs or money related to the problem involving BT's former boyfriend. Then the police said that they fired the shots after they were shot at as they went into the house. Taylor's relatives say Walker fired to defend himself because he believed someone was breaking into the house. Because I guess they were yelling, they did a no-knock. So they didn't say, hey, police or anything. They just went right in. Many people have problems with these kind of things. There has been a lot that has come out since then. Again, nobody ever waits when they go to these violence or anything. People just react. They never wait for all of the information. I'm not going to say too much here, but I will probably go over on Twitter and say some of the stuff, and I'll probably get frozen or muted again for saying some of it. And it's nothing bad. It's just the facts. The facts of the situation is they found out a lot more about BT afterwards, but it doesn't change the facts. The facts right now is that something is definitely going down there. It says the two other cops involved in the raid, Officer Miles and Officer Jonathan, were placed on administrative leave. So was the detective who had requested the warrant, Joshua Janes. So all of them basically not working as of now or administrative leave. It says the city of Louisville last week agreed to pay $12 million to BT's family to settle a wrongful death lawsuit, which that does happen a lot. It says the city does not admit any wrongdoing as part of that agreement. But the rest of the country, that doesn't really matter as far as this goes. People are pissed. And it says Louisville police in riot gear clash with protesters. This is breaking, just tonight. Use rubber bullets after BT ruling. Okay, so Dex, do you want to fill us in on this?
Yeah, so the key points, if I can just jump back to the ruling real quick, the key points there was that the two officers that were involved in the returning of fire were not charged anything. The other officer who, during that process, he had fired a little more what you would call blindly, and I think actually put bullets through walls that went into another apartment. He was charged with, you would call like reckless endangerment. That's what the upset is about, is that nobody was actually charged for that event specific to BT. Does that make sense? Just this one person got charged with this reckless, I can't remember the term they use for it, but call it just like reckless endangerment.
An extreme indifference to the value of human life. But what is the actual charge?
One ton or something. But anyway, that's like a 5-year, it's a felony. It's a 5-year max term. It's not as big as you would.
So he'll do 2 to 3 years. He'll do 2 to 3 years.
Right. So that's why everyone's upset, because they expected more. And like you said, there's a lot of other facts that have come out. Like it was a no-knock, at least I understand it was a no-knock warrant, but then there was evidence that came out that said they actually knocked. And there were witnesses that said they heard the knocking. So they didn't even perform it as a no-knock. They performed it as a knock. So a lot of those things all played into what this grand jury had to look at from evidence to then make this decision. So this was actually a decision made by a jury, not necessarily
a judge.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a little bit also another thing to consider. These are peers of your public, of your local area. So then what happened is the protest started up today as soon as that information came out. And what we heard throughout the day was lots of, some of the normal stuff we've seen where peaceful protesting, but then you've also got more of the extreme parts of that protesting, and that's where the police were getting involved. And then that led up and escalated. I think the buildings were set on fire. fires were started, things like that. And then that led up to the climax tonight when a person was firing a weapon at the police. And I just got an update on that they actually have the suspect, or a suspect. I don't know if it's the suspect, but it's a suspect that has been captured, and there's been multiple officers that were hurt.
And I'm pulling some of this up right now. It says BT live updates, 2 officers taken down in Louisville protest. This is going to be all over Twitter. This is going to be all over every single news outlet for at least 24 hours, and then they will change up to whatever happens next. In fact, tonight, we could see some more action on this. We are always following this kind of stuff very closely.
Yeah, and Adam, the other thing, these protests actually were happening nationwide. So, even in Atlanta, where I am at, I'm sure in Seattle and other cities, there were similar protests around this announcement that were happening. Now, maybe they weren't as heated, obviously, as the one in Louisville.
As we speak right now, there could be all sorts of things going down. So we're just kind of waiting for stuff to come in, because this is kind of a huge deal as far as them not getting life in prison, all of them not being charged, one of them getting the equivalent to maybe 2 years or 2.5 years in jail, maybe three at most with good time, unless they, shiv somebody or something to stay longer. That's not what the mob wanted in this case. That a lot of people were not happy with this. So we're going to see a lot more go on tonight. As we speak, there is probably something going down. We will most likely see videos of people getting hit by cars, people exchanging fire, all sorts of things by tomorrow morning, by tonight. So I'll be watching it. I have a hard time sleeping with everything that goes on now. And, of course, we've got a baby too, but it's almost like you can sit up all night and this new stuff comes in and in and in. We'll be making sure to keep you guys updated on all of the updates. So remember that. The rubber bullets, everything's flying. It could be in a city near you. Gone Girl says, need a Dex cam. Woot woot. Dex will be getting on camera at some point. He's actually already got his camera set up, stuff, but we're trying to get him on. Trust me. Dev Bear B, Shy the Coffee, Sailing Dogs, MD Thomas, Johnny Doom, thank you. Jonesy 707, Red 1967, thank you. The Muscle Whisperer, thank you for being here tonight. Tower Baron, I Love Beagles, thank you so much. A Yak Star, KY Kentucky AG confirmed this today. Yes, that's awesome. Thank you, Ayak. And then the truth is out there, Texas Rob 49, and it's diamond support for Marfoogle News and FAM. Thank you, Tower Bear. I'm always here, little buddy. Why can't we all just get along? Only one team, as Susan Donahue would say, hashtag Team Humanity. And then he added literally, which is my go-to word. Shots fired, N95 Hero says. BT didn't get a no-knock. They announced. A Yakstar, I know more stuff came out. And then, of course, neighbors said that they repeatedly said, police. So, if you knowingly, you guys get it. Kelly2334, thank you so much for the massive support tonight. And hang tight, Foogle. The Lord will see us through. I stepped on a lemon and out came a diamond, said Channel Jammer. Channel Jammer, thank you for repping us so hard everywhere. I do see it. And trust me, you are out there when you don't even know people are watching, representing the Foogle fam. That I really, really appreciate. Seriously. Okay. And that just goes to show you, you do not have to donate to be Foogle. You don't have to donate. Of course, you just did, but I see when people share and when people go out of their way to go and to bring people in. I do notice that, and I really, really think you guys are awesome. The plane carrying Pence lands safely at New Hampshire Airport after hitting a bird. That doesn't sound like a big deal. You'd think that a plane could just hit a bird, but it's actually it's a huge deal. If a plane hits a bird, it can actually do some serious damage because of the speeds they are going. It can devastate. We've had whole airliners go down because of a bird. Dex, do you want to explain what happened here with Vice President Mike Pence?
Yeah, sure. When I heard this, I just heard engine trouble and they turned around. But then later I discovered that one of the Fugel fan had reached out to me and told me about the bird strike. So yeah, apparently they're claiming it to be a bird strike. This is what the mainstream is saying. And the plane turned around and he, I guess, took a different plane to complete his trip. We've seen this happen, in other planes. We've seen some planes take some very serious damage from birds. But it's just really interesting to look at with what's going on in the times. And, we covered a story just yesterday about a letter being sent to T-Man. We've seen numerous other type of events around T-Man. And now, when you see something happening to Pence, it just it makes you wonder, makes you question.
The question here is did they really hit a bird? What do you guys think? Put it in the chat now. I'm going to head over to the YouTube chat. What do you guys think? Do you think that this was a bird? And again, people are already saying AIS says quote, bird. Yeah. Bird strike took out big jets like the Potomac years back. No. And this is a good alibi because birds can do the serious damage and you would land if you hit something and it did severe damage. Yes, it does. A bird drone, somebody said. Drone, question mark. Good guess. Totally, says Stoner Max. Storm Walker, bird is the word. Oh, thank you. Now I have that song stuck in my head. Let's see here. It's more common than people think. That is true. Dashound. Johnny Doom says nope. Gone Girl 777 says pew pew pew. I should add, pew, pew, pew. Follow Marf on Twitter for latest updates. Thank you. Again, Susan Donahue. I didn't see it went by too fast. Able-bodied nightmare. Chad Fishing, Lion's Heart. It was not. Julie Size, maybe something else. Drone Boom, says Dan the Man. Trinity Red Pill Blue Hill. Let's see. Bird Poop, LOL, says Heidi Gregario. Michelle Jackson, tall drink of water, but aluminum planes can penetrate steel buildings. Saying, yes, a bird can do extreme damage to a plane, but a plane can take out steel reinforced buildings. Yep. Good point there. Bill Jacaraso, what is going on? Julie Size, Sergeant Quinn, thank you. Lisa R. Hall, hey, Shastina, Randy Simmons, Terry Flores. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that are questioning if it was. A stealth drone shows on radar as a bird. Very true. But why would they turn around and land? Is it because they were being chased or something? Definitely not a bird. It's a super drone. Let's see. It was a left-wing bird. I've heard that they're very easy to find in the wild. They have purple feathers. Tower Bear, I was always here. Thank you so much. Gone Girl. And let's see here. We've got Snowboard. Kelly2334, thank you. Baldy Locks Awake, thank you for your support tonight as well. I am not missing you. Nick, 52182, thank you. I don't think I've met you yet. So nice to meet you. Trek Prepper. We've got Jen Lay Awake. How's your leg doing? I'm so sorry to hear about your James Bond moment. Show us the damaged plane. That's a great point. Yeah, where's the pictures of it? They should have immediately took pictures of the plane crashing. Or I mean, not crashing. The dent that the bird did. Why did they have to land? Or was it a threat? That's a good question. If you guys don't want to be tracked or traced, I would definitely put your phone in one of these. You can go to eDec by going to marfuglenews.com/EDEC. Again, you can actually save money on these. These will prevent it from sending out any RF signal or getting any RF signal. So nobody will be able to track your laptop, your phone, anything. You can go off grid by using one of these. This is the same company that deals with FBI. They actually sell them to them as evidence bags, because once you put a laptop or something in there, the bad guy can't remotely wipe the evidence off of it. So, but you can use it and not get tracked. Right now, they are tracking and tracing and doing contact everything. Just stay away from it if you want. It's your choice. Go off grid with eDec. All right, we're going to get our next caller on, and this is going to be a good one. It looks like on deck we have Roy Jr. this time. Believe we had Senior on last time. We've had his dad on the show, a.k.a. Amazing Montage. Or Amazing Monty. Amazing Montana Life. I'm just screwing up left and right tonight. Okay, we've got a video. We're not going to play... We're only going to play part of this. It says talk about the pyramid. Okay, what's going on? Roy Jr., a.k.a. Amazing Montana Life. What is going on? You are live. Do we
Hey,
have...
Adam, it's Dax. We're trying to get Roy on the line right now. Roy Jr. on the line.
Okay, I'll pull up the channel while we're at it. It looks like. Boom, boom. All right, let's pull.
Hey, Adam. Well, let's just move to the next caller. I'll get Roy back on in a different way.
Okay, that works for me. Looks like right after that we have healthcare sucks and Oregon fires and his experience, and we've got a video to match. Healthcare sucks. What is going on?
Hey, how you doing, Brother Marv?
Hey, how's it going? It's been a few months since we've had you call in. What's going on?
Yeah, I've been keeping busy, and lately we survived being chased by the Echo Mountain Otis wildfire guy.
Okay, so was your home affected by this?
Well, we were in a level 3 technically mandatory evac, so we went through quite some time not knowing whether it was burned to the ground like many others or what the status was. Then we got the good news a few days ago that our structure was still up. So we're actually at the house doing cleaning and stuff, guys, and they just got internet and power to the place, and we're running security around our neighborhood to keep people from bad elements, stealing what people have left out here.
Now, so you've got some videos on here showing kind of the damage. This came pretty close to you, did it not? I mean, right up to your home?
within about 100 yards.
Wow, the scene you just showed to your left, this looks like paradise. Look at the trees, but then the cars are burned up.
Good comparison. It actually jumped, went around homes, left certain things. It was crazy.
What in the world? Look at this. Look at that one tree. I'll just say, just imagine it. It's almost like it was like some sort of laser from the top that was being aimed around. Like somebody was like God was holding a laser pointer, and it was one of those super strong ones that just burns in, and he was just going slow, wrapping it around. Only I don't think it was God doing it.
No, it was the other guy.
Look at this. Wow. How is it burnt right here, and then this is fine?
It was like that. It was just crazy. Even the firefighters said they'd never seen nothing like this.
Yeah, I bet. It doesn't seem like this is a normal fire. Look at this. This is so weird.
I don't think there's nothing normal about this. This is, at minimum, another one of those once-in-a-century kind of things,
I'm just blown away because it's like, look at that. It's like you see just perfectly fine, everything's good, and then it's like a circle of stuff around it, and then it's good. Then
look
it's
at
not.
the grass on that post pitch. It's crazy.
What in the world?
Yeah, we actually got chased and had to bug out of a level 3 mandatory vac 3 times, guy. The fire chased us when we thought we were safe.
I'm still blown away by this video. This video
for everybody
nuts.
For everybody out there. Imagine you're told you're safe, and 2:30 in the morning, the fire chased us out of the first safe spot. But we thought we were safe again by Devil's Lake. Chased us out of there by afternoon. That's the third time it made a mandatory evac, and that time. It was my son with autism that, got out of the house with me to start with, my 2 dogs, and I had my ex-wife over, so it was all of us, bugging out, and we had left to go get some stuff when we thought we were safe at the lake, and got a call that the fire was coming towards the lake. We had to go back in and do an emergency evacuation of my wife, my neighbor's trailer, and his dogs, and my dogs. I mean, it was just... It kept chasing us like the devil at your heels, guy.
Wow, this is incredible footage. What can I ask? What neighborhood was this in? And were you able to drive in like this only because you lived there, or was anybody allowed in there?
At first, the only way in was with a police escort. After that, they opened it up to with IDs only for the last weekend. And then it went to, which was really strange, they just opened it up and anybody could go back. And that's when me and a bunch of us that were staying at the hotel at that time came back and basically camped out at our places to do security because the National Guard was pulled. We didn't even see a sheriff for the last 2 nights. It's crazy.
So the footage you guys are seeing right now is incredible. You will not see this basically anywhere else except for Healthcare's channel. This is insanity. It's so weird how there's an area of green grass burned, and then green grass surrounding a burn, and then trucks melted down to the metal. Houses burnt down, no porcelain left, no toilets, no nothing. This is incredible footage. I just have to say. I hope that you guys all...
we actually are having more too, buddy. We're going to be posting a lot more.
Well, Healthcare Sucks, thank you so much for calling in, and this is an amazing video. We're going to end up linking this, and I know that a lot of people are going to go over and end up watching this over and over again. Look at that. Wow, look at this. I wish I had my camera right there. I want to freeze on that moment right here. Look at this. I want to go here. Look at that picture right there. If I had my Canon right there, look at this. There's a statue there of like a hobo holding a bag. And then these 2 cars. This truck looks like it has... What is all this stuff, too? It's just incredible.
It's just crazy, guy. And it devastated so many people affected in different little community neighborhoods of us. It even chased across the river and went across Highway 18, guy. I mean, nuts.
Well, Healthcare Sucks. It looks like you have just documented something that very few have ever seen, and people are only seeing from, the sky and planes. So thank you so much for documenting this. This should go down in history.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Yeah, just real quick. For all of us that are prepping, this is what hit me. Try to prep for what you don't expect in your area. literally. And then with that, I want to thank all Marfoogle family and Team 99 for all the comments and the love. And from you, Marf, bless your family and thank you. And thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. You have a great night. Healthcare sucks. You have
Thank
a great night. Be
Thank
safe.
you.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm thoroughly in shock to see this kind of footage right there on the ground, right there. Nobody gets to see this angle. Wow. I wonder if there were anybody in there. I mean, how many people did we lose? How many people stayed behind and hit this head on? Very strange. Dex, do you want to get Roy Jr. on, and then we'll end up covering this other one? Were you able to get him back?
I'm on. I just gave him the. There he is. He's live.
Okay, Roy Jr., right? Not Senior.
Yeah, Roy Jr.
What's going on?
So, I don't know if you've seen this video before, but it's of a pyramid over the Pentagon, and this thing is like the pyramids of Giza's like the size, and if you blow it up on a big TV, you can actually see the blocks in the side of this pyramid.
Okay, 1 second. Let me get past this little part of it. In fact, I'll just do this so that you can't see the ad part. So let me get past that. All right, so I'm not sure what... I'm going to actually pause it on what video we're talking about here. So hold on. Just got to get past this. All right, so this is the incident that apparently at least 3 different angles people got this from. And it was a big, huge kind of pyramid over the Pentagon. This was about 2 years ago, if you guys don't remember this. This was a freaky event here. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so let me try to get a good screenshot here. Okay, so if you guys don't remember this, the realistic part about this was not the one video, because most people would say, whatever. But there were 3 different angles from 3 different parts of the city that got the same thing. That's what freaked people out. I don't remember if anybody eventually tried to debunk this and say all 3 guys, whatever. But that's what gave it validity, is because people got it from all over Washington, D.C. That's what was freaky about this. It's kind of hard to see on my screen, but what do you think this is?
Honestly, I don't know. All I know is if you play with Ouija boards, you get some weird stuff happening. So I would like to know what they're doing to get this happening.
Do you think it's CERN or something, bringing something in?
Oh yeah, I think I think aliens are part of the Nephilim. So I think that's what it is.
Now, as far as this video goes, it says that there's actually a channel link here as well. Wait, is this your link? Is this your channel?
Amazing Montana Life. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pull that up so people are able to see it. Now, is there anything that you want to add to this as far as, or did you just want to share that with the Foogle fam?
I just wanted to share that, but there is one other thing. I had a vision, and so my dad thought I should tell you if you want to hear it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. So I was just sitting in bed one night, and God gave me this vision, but what shocked me was, so think of like a downtown street in New York City, but right after it was completely bombed.
Now, how did you know it was New York? Did you know the shape of the buildings, or?
No, I'm just saying. All I got was a picture of a city street, just, I mean, in ruins. And as far as you could see, all you could see was black smoke.
Now, again, you said it was New York, though. Was there a landmark that you knew it was kind of like Times Square? Or where exactly did you see get, boom boom going on?
No, I was just giving you so you could picture it, like, I mean, a big city, like with skyscrapers, but in ruins.
Oh, okay, I get you. And that was the whole vision, or did it go on, or was it a dream?
Yeah. So that's what I got, but I also got the voice was God. I mean, it was really clear was this country is going to burn.
Well, you're not alone there. In fact, if you look up, these kind of apocalyptic dreams or visions, there's thousands and thousands of people that have very similar ones. There's even Facebook groups that basically record their dreams at the same time, and then they compare them. And what's the freaky part is that they end up having the same dreams. You're talking about when you put together thousands, people across the country will have the same dreams and the same locations and the same things. So they're being told the same thing in their dreams. That's where people end up saying, like, oh, there's got to be something like a signal being put out by the government or something like this, because how would they possibly get the same message? And then some say, oh, it's God telling them this and that. But very fascinating, if you look into these groups that all write down their exact dreams and everything that they possibly can, they record them, and then at the exact same time, everybody compares. And they see these ones. So there's no way for them to go, oh, I saw that dream and then copied it. Then there's no way that people fake these stories. So I think there's some pretty fascinating stuff. I do think people are connected on another level. That doesn't surprise me. I think that we have destruction coming, so doesn't even make me afraid, because I'm just kind of waiting for it. So, well, thank you, Roy Jr., for calling in. And is your dad around? Just say hi to him if he's there.
Nope, I'm at my house right now. He's listening, though, so hi, Dad.
Hey, Roy Sr., thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for, pushing each other back and forth to spread news and do this. Again, I hope that everybody goes over to Amazing Montana Life's channel. This is Roy Jr. He's been calling in alongside with his dad as well sometimes. His Roy Sr. also calls in. They talked about the Navy map. If you remember that call, that was Roy Sr. or Roy Jr. Was that you or was that your dad? I think that was your
dad. My
dad
was the one that called in about the Navy map, but we were together on that phone call.
Okay, because you guys sound so much alike. It's I'm sure you guys get that all the time. Well, thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you again for calling in, and I appreciate you, and be safe and be prepared, okay?
All right. Thanks, Marf.
All right. You have a good one. Back into this, again, that was Amazing Montana Life. Just pull this back open again. I expected as much. Okay. And then, again, Roy Sr., Roy Jr., they're very incredibly nice men. I apologize, too. It's been this long. I have not slept well in the last few days because, as some of you know, my wife she has to do her blood sugar 4 times a day. They said that it could be, what do you call it? Gestational diabetes, and she had blood pressure to the point where they thought it was preeclampsia. So she's currently on kind of bed rest, and she's got to take it down, and she can't even pick up our 1-year-old baby. So what that means is I have been taking care of everything for her. Luckily, we had her mom come over the last 3 days to help for a few hours. But I respect that woman so much because of how much you realize they do when they're not doing it. So I'm extremely tired. And my brain has not functioned. So I do appreciate those of you who realized that I was not my 100% self tonight. Also, we wanted to bring out a good story before we leave you with all this negative. A billionaire reaches his goal of giving away his entire fortune after 38 years of secret donations. It says in 1982, a wealthy businessman quietly set up a philanthropic foundation. His goal was to secretly give away his entire fortune. Now, 38 years later, he has achieved his goal at the age of 89. It says Chuck Feeney made his money in the duty-free shopping business, building a nest egg of over $8 billion over the course of his life. It says the Irish American is known for his frugality and humility. Despite his riches, he does not own a car. He rents a small apartment. He flies economy class, and he only owns one pair of shoes. It says the co-founder of the duty-free shoppers group managed to keep his charitable activities hidden from the public for 15 years until his identity was revealed to the public in 1997 when he sold his shares in the company. Is that nuts? And it says he continued to keep a low profile until 2005 when opportunity came along to do some good with the publicity. The New Jersey-born businessman decided to cooperate in a journalist Connor O'Cleary's writing of his biography with an eye towards promoting giving while living to other wealthy people. In 2007, former Irish Taoiseach Prime Minister Bertie Ahern launched the book at Trinity College, Dublin. It says this week, Feeney's foundation, the Atlantic Philanthropies, finally ran out of money. It says the elderly businessman told The Guardian that he was very happy with, quote, completing this on my watch. He urged the other super rich folks not to wait until after they have passed away to experience the joy of giving away their fortunes. Wow. And one thing I think of too is the duty-free business. Nobody thought it, I guarantee you everybody travels, and that's something that goes 24/7. Think about that. And it's liquor and all this other stuff. I think there's breaks on it, tax breaks, all sorts of things. Dex, what do you think about that? When you heard it was duty-free that he got so rich, so incredibly rich at, what did you think about that? First thing that came to my mind is that, travel is 24/7. Airports are open all the time.
Oh yeah, man. Duty free changed the shape of many airports. Like I remember flying through, I want to say it was Australia and in Sydney, and like the entire airport is like a mall. Like just to get to the plane, you had to go through like this huge duty free section. Like this whole duty free thing just really it changed travel quite a bit. Like all of the duty free shopping, it basically turns airports into malls. And like you said, you save money because you're buying stuff without paying tax on it.
I mean, it's just so crazy to think about. And then everybody does it. Every time I've traveled, I've bought stuff at those duty-free places. And I was probably supporting Feeney's philanthropic adventures. So, pretty cool. Anyways, we always try to bring you up after we bring you down, I guess. Speaking of bringing you up and speaking of my wife and everything else, make sure to check out this. This is just a personal recommendation as well as far as earthing. If you don't know what grounding is, you need to do some research. It's something that you do not have to buy. In fact, you can do this for completely free. But what earthing does, the company Earthing, is they provide products that you can do while you're sleeping. Like the mats, you just go to sleep on a mat like this and you get 8 hours of grounding in. Otherwise, not many people can just stand out on the grass for a while. This sounds crazy until you actually look at the medical studies that back it up. As far as it decreases inflammation, which inflammation is the root of all evils, basically. You're talking about all sorts of pains, all sorts of things that happen in your body are due from inflammation, including internally. Indigestion, all this sort of stuff can actually be helped by grounding or earthing. So if you want to check this out, marfooglenews.com/earthing. I highly recommend you watch the movie first. Then you'll understand it. and you'll understand that it is as real as it gets. So again, marfooglenews.com/earthing. This product, out of all the products though, this has had the most positive feedback that people have said that it's changed their life. These are people that comment in my chat all the time. They say, I'm so glad I did this. Thank you for recommending it. So again, and it supports the show. But either way, get out there and do grounding without doing this. Again, this is something I actually try to do now. Never thought in my life that I would try walking around barefoot for no reason. I thought those people were cuckoo. Now I know why they were doing it. Except for homeless Ted. I know why he was doing it, but that's because he didn't have shoes. But I'm just saying it's a good thing. Anyways, Gone Girl 777 says, I love my earthing mat. Again, you just put it under your sheet and go to sleep. You don't even notice it. But you will notice if you don't plug it in, or if it gets unplugged. That's crazy. My wife says she knows the second it's unplugged. It says, if your wife wants help with low glycemic diet, I can help. Capper85, thank you so much. Again, her blood sugar's been, I guess it's been looking fine. That first time it was scary, so that's why she's been doing it. But 4 times a day, she just got to check her blood sugar. Now I'm learning about all that too. 100 or over 100, under 100. Crazy stuff. Either way, Dex, love you, brother. You know what time it is, right?
Great show, man.
Thank you. How much time do we have left?
We are just now hitting the mark, so I'm going to be turning off the other channel.
All right. Well, we're going to be heading over to D Live. We will be turning off the YouTube part so it processes. So if you want to join us, hop over to D Live. It's now time for a shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not